Hi everyone, good morning. This is a fourth video in JCL. In this video, we are going to see data definition, DD statement and its parameter. The first parameter is DSN. We'll be specifying the dataset name here, the physical dataset name. Second parameter is disk. It has a three positional parameter inside it. The first parameter says what is the current status of the dataset. Second says if the step successfully ended, what the system to do with this dataset. And third parameter says what the system to do with this dataset if the step abnormally ended. Okay. Let's quickly do hands-on on the various possible values on these things. First parameter, it's a new dataset. Okay, I'm specifying new. Let's see whether the dataset already exists. It's not there. So when I do a new, what happens is newly the dataset will be created. So it's ended successfully. So the dataset is created and it has a value of line number 4, which is IEB general. So this input is copied. This is a new dataset. And if I try to, okay, this dataset is already created now, right? Now, new means it's a newly creating. If I do old, what does it mean is the content will be overwritten. Okay, the dataset will be open for write mode and the content will be overwritten. So let us run it now. So I expect line 5. So line 5, okay. What is share? Share is same like old, but you don't, when you are writing, you are not taking the exclusive access. So share, with the share, can I write the dataset? Yes, you can very well write, but without exclusive access, you are writing the dataset. Okay. Sorry. Ended 6. Yes, 6. Okay. So with the share, we can write, but without exclusive access. Old, with the exclusive access, we take ownership of the dataset and we'll rewrite the dataset. And mod is a unique one. When you do a mod, what happens is if a dataset already exists, it considers that as a old option but it will append the value. Okay, it won't rewrite it, but it will append it. That is what mod. If I submit it now, what happens is I expect two lines here, first line 6 as well as first line 7. Okay, and assuming that the dataset not exist at all, what happens is mod will consider as a new and it will create the dataset. Okay, so mod do the dual function. Dataset not exists, it will consider as a new and create. Already exists, it considers a old but append it. That's about current status, and which we should be clear enough now. Second, what has to be done with the dataset? What the system has to do the dataset if the step normally ends? The options are this much. Either it can catalog it or uncatalog it or keep it or pass it or delete it. Let's see what it means. Catalog means it will save it and it will put an entry in the catalog. So whatever we have seen till now is a catalog. Because we are seeing an entry in catalog, that is the reason we are able to see it here. Okay. So this is catalog. And uncatalog mean dataset will be saved, but entry will not be put in a catalog. So when you do a 3.4 or you try to access the dataset in, referring the dataset, system cannot locate it on its own since catalog entry is missing. What you need to do give is you need to specifically give a volume serial number also. Then from VTalk it can locate and read the data or show the data in 3.4. Okay, maybe I can do a quick hands-on for that. What I'll do is uncatalog the dataset. I'll delete it. I'll do a new and I'll do an uncatalog. Okay, if I do TS list, system cannot look up the dataset because it's an uncatalogued dataset. I'll say dataset not from only. At the same time, if I give a specific volume where the dataset is allocated, See, the volume is where is allocated? VP work B. If I give this volume, then from VTAC it can be accessed. VW VP VP work B. Okay. So we have to give a volume serial number, then we can access it. Same thing, if you are using this data set in a share mode in down the line also, you need to give a volume serial number. Without volume serial number, this data set will be a not found data set only, because it's uncatalogued. Just keep the data set, retain the data set. Okay, that is what keep option. And delete, it will delete the data set on successful execution of the step. And last option is pass. Pass is a option which is used for temporarily retaining the data set only the lifetime of a job. Means that step will be the step pass the data set to downstream step, but at the same time end of the job this data set will be deleted, it won't be available. Okay, let's try it out. So I'm passing, okay, ended, but at the same time this won't be available because it's a pass, it's a temporary. Okay, next, third positional parameter is in case of abnormal end, what this has a data set, what will happen to this data set. Okay, so values are same, but pass is not applicable. Because why pass is not applicable? The step itself is going to abandon. Okay, when it is abandoning, what is the meaning of passing? Because downstream nothing is going to run. So pass is it's not a meaningful option for third parameter. So only the remaining four parameters are meaningful, and the meaning is exactly same like normal end. Okay, this is about all about disk. And next is space parameter. Space parameter has to be specified for the new data set, and how much space to be allocated when the data set is created. And this is a unit of allocation. This is a primary, this is a secondary quantity. Release, by default you code it everywhere. It's a good practice, because when the step ends, if there is unused space available, that will be released if you code this statement. So code release keyword. And so this is about space parameter. I want to talk a lot more on space parameter, but may not be here. Down the line sometime, once the JCL topic is over, I'll talk on this space parameter more. But I suggest you to watch uh, Abundant solution playlist. There is one video is there which talks about B37, D37, G37 Abundant solution. That is related with space, and you should have a knowledge on that. If you are working in a production support project. Okay, and you get more information on space parameter also there. Okay, right now I'm skipping with this basic information. And for old mod, you specify space parameter that is meaningless, that will be ignored. For new, this space will be taken and accordingly allocated. Next is data control block. This says attributes of a data sets, that is record format. Watch FB or VB or FBA or span data set. So like this, what is the record format, that will be specifying here. LRECL, it's a record length, logical record length you will be mentioning. Block size, it should be for a FB, it should be a multiples of LRECL, but generally and recommended to put 0, because when you do the 0, what happens is system will do the appropriate calculation, best optimum size of block size, considering the volume where the data set is getting stored. So always have a practice of putting block size is 0, so the best can be chosen by system. Then DSR, the dataset organization, whether it is PS or PO or library, those things they will be mentioning here. So these are the parameters, common parameters used in the DD card. There are some other parameters are there, like label, which is specifically for type dataset, or volume parameter and unit parameter. All these things, probably sometime later I'll talk. Okay. Right now we conclude here with respect to parameters. And yeah, one more thing I want to say, the default value. What is the default value? If I don't give a disp at all, what happens? Okay, this is one question people commonly ask. Okay, so if I submit this job, what happened, the data set does not exist, right? So if I submit it, what will happen? I haven't coded disp also. So the default value of disp is new delete, so you don't find it. But this is what theory says. I can ask you one more question. If the data set already exists, okay, now the data set is already exists, I haven't coded. So what will happen to the data set? I'm sure most of the people says that the data set will not exist, but that's not the answer. Oh, last time I created new pass delete. That is a problem. Okay, if I do a new catalog delete, sorry, we have to repeat it. That's what I was little shocked. What mistake I did. What I'll do is I'm submitting it. Okay, now I'll go and again submit it. Now the data set already exists, but at the same time disp I haven't coded. So it won't take the default value is not new delete. In this case, data set since already exists, the value will be on successful execution. It will continue to be in the old state. So old state means what? It's already exists, right? So it's going to continue to exist. Okay. So that is the default value. So default value for disk is for a new data set. If it is does not exist, it's a new delete. If it already exists, it's old catalog delete. Okay. So that is about this parameter. I think we have covered enough, and the parameters also we are good. Now let's get into something like positional parameter or in-stream data. So till now, whatever we have seen is everything is a keyword parameters. Whether DD has a positional parameter, yes, it has a positional parameter. What are the positional parameter? This DD star. The star I cannot give, after DSN name and all. When I give a star, it should be a first. It is a positional parameter. We also call this as a in-stream data. Okay. So the data, maybe we talk this hands-on is, completely for in-stream data. So DD star, whatever I code here, okay, the delimiter is slash star. Still slash star comes, the content will be read by the program. Okay. But if either slash star or slash slash comes, automatically the content will be considered as ended. And if you want to pass slash slash also, then you need to give dd data for that. Okay. When you do dd data, the data will be considered as end of data only by delimiter of slash star. Slash slash will consider the data and it will go inside. Now for whatever reason you want to pass, slash slash as well as slash star you want to, pass in a in stream. Then what you need to give is you need to use this data DLM equal to any character, whatever you want to do. Okay, you can use this also. And you mention that data set in the first two character. So whatever comes in between, everything will be go as a in stream. Okay. So this is about positional parameter and in-stream data. In-stream data, three variants. One is star, where the delimiter is okay either slash star or double slash. When any of the things come, that will be considered as a n. When you do a DD data, slash slash will go as a data. Only slash star will work as a delimiter. But if you do a DLM with any other two character, till that character comes in the first two position, everything, whether it is a slasher or a double slash or whatever it is, everything will go as a in-stream data. Okay. Now what we'll do is this is a EB genome, and I'm giving here sysout equal to star. The sysout equal to star is also one of the positional parameter. Instead of giving a DSN, I can give a sysout equal to star. So what are the positional parameters? Sysout equal to star, star, data DLM, data, this, all these are positional parameters. Okay. I'll submit and I'll check it out. So in sys ut2, what I'm expecting is this will come in stream data 1, 2, slash slash data 3, then terminator, then 4, 5, 6, all this will come in the output. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now you have a fair understanding of what is in-stream data and the way, different variants of it, and sysout equal to star also. Just a information, the star says we call also, in JCL it is a refer back. In sysout star, where it is referring back is, it is referring back to this message class. So sysout equal to star, and this means sysout equal to x, means that will be routed to local. That is nothing but destination spool. Okay, that's just information. Okay. Anyway, leaving that, okay, let's talk something on this dummy also. When you go dummy, it is saying that end of data, I mean end of data. If at all I give something like, dummy, let's say, here itself we can try it out, like I'm giving here dummy. I'm not sure if I give dummy here, I think it works as a end of file. So remaining will be ignored. Okay. DD dummy, if you are coded, everything else after that, whatever come, it will be ignored. So I'm expecting only in stream data 1. Let's see. Okay. So about DD dummy, that is dummy, also a positional parameter. And there is also one more thing is, sir, instead of dummy, we can give DSN equal to null file. That also work like a dummy only. Try it out. I haven't tried before. Okay. So that also will be a so you remember that dummy or DSN null file, EOF is set here. What after that, whatever the data is concatenated, nothing will come in the output. Okay. Um, so I think we have talked about positional parameters in DD and also in stream data and variants of it, and DD dummy and DD null, DSN null file, everything we have seen. Next we will see something on dataset concatenation. Dataset concatenation, okay, it is, we have already seen the last exercise itself. So it is something like, when you do more than one data set, okay, the data set, this DD name will be same, but multiple DD cards will come. This called data set concatenation. Here what happens is this data set, this data set, this data set are concatenated together. So concatenation rules are like this. Everything should be of a same record, and the record format should be same. And like this, either 16 PDS or 255 PS can be concatenated. Okay. And also your advisory notice, if they are of a different block size, the largest block size data set, let it be in the first. These are the concatenation rule which we should keep in mind. Okay. This is about concatenation. You can always try it out. Maybe if you want, I can do one exercise. Probably I can try to do a different electrical here. What is this? This is actually 80 by data, right? This is also 80 by data. Anything you do in a in-stream, it's a 80 by data because the data set is 80 byte. Okay, now this data set, I'll try to give 100 byte. I'll create with 100 byte. PS3, it is there saying about PS4. Okay, if you remember, I created with 0 block size, right? If you go and see, the block size is 27,900. It is not a zero. Why 27,900? It is allocated in a track unit. This track, you know, there are various type of tracks are there. In the track, what the block size is chosen in such a way that it can read the maximum data. Okay, maybe I talk about the block size in another video. Let's not get diverted. Okay, so now PS4 I am allocating here, which is a share mode. I am expecting here JCL error in reading this data set because this is of 80, this is of 100. So concatenation rules is violated. So I am expecting a error. Condition code 12 came. Should be error. We'll see. Conflicting DC parameters. Okay. So the step didn't execute successfully. So this is about concatenation rule. Keep this is in mind. Same record format. Block size can be different, but the largest block size should be in the top. The concatenation can happen maximum for 16 PDS to 55 PDS. Okay. Next. Okay. Let's have some knowledge on this. Standard DDs. Okay. SUA is a simple COBOL program that has only display statement. Okay. So let me execute this program. So it have it displayed it. Now what I'm saying here is see the SUA01 from where the load is picked. The load is picked from the Z82660 load. From this library the load is picked up and the job has the step has successfully executed. Okay. So that is a search order, and if I give, so if even 10 steps are there, all the 10 steps will be looked into job lib for the load module search. If it is not found in load module, if it is not found here, it will look into system libraries like IFBR14 and all. We are not giving in the job lib and all. It is going to take it up from the now system libraries and it will get executed. If it is user program, it should be in a job lib. And the other option is step lib. Okay, if you give a step lib, what happens is it will be first search will happen in the step lib data set. If it is not found, don't say it will look into job lib. It will simply search in system library. If it is not found, it will be abandoned with S806. So now this was 01 from where it is taken. It is taken from here. It is not taken from here. To so you need to clearly understand a statement like step lib overrides job lib means the search will happen only in step lib, not in search lib at all. Okay, probably to keep strongly in your mind, I want to write out one more sample. There is one load backup is there. Here SUA01 is not there. Here you have a SUA01. So I am giving a load.backup. When I do that, what happens is SUA01 is not here. It won't search in job lib. Directly it look into system library. It won't find. It will abandon with 806, which is a load module not found. Okay. So I've seen many people when I'm asking in an interview, they will say that step lib overrides job lib. But if you give a scenario based question, they will say that if it is not here, it will pick it up from here. So make sure you understand clearly step lib overrides job lib means it will search here. If it is not there, no lookup in job lib and all directly in system because it is already overridden. Okay. Fine. This is about these two. Sysin is something like a in-stream data, whichever you want to pass, or that will be passing in Sysin. Sysin for most of a program, it is like a data set where the control information will go. We have seen already IEB general Sysin we are passing, and we have seen we are going to see in ID camps in everywhere the Sysin, even sort, everywhere the Sysin will send the basic controlling information. Even in COBOL program, if you code something Sysin, inside the COBOL program by accept statement we will be receiving it. So Sysin is standard input which will be, if it is a COBOL by accept, for other program also similar way. Okay, sysout, sysout star we have seen, it is sending the message to local destination, and sysprint. Sysprint is something, it's a data set which is like some of utility programs like IUB Jana, all these things, will use sysprint as a sysout data set. Okay. See here also we are seeing, right, the COBOL program, whatever the display we are giving also, it will be appearing only in the um, sysprint. Okay. Sys TSPRT, it is only for IKGFT01 output. Sys TSIN IKGFT01, this is a terminal stream TS. Okay. Sys TSIN is a IKGFT01 terminal monitor program input. SRT-PRT is something unique with respect to, I think, SingSat. Okay. But anyway, when you are working on the different, we have a separate video on IBM utility programs. So when you go through those, I know that video, you will be aware of these data sets. They all have some commonly some meaning in between them, and depending on the utility, the meaning may be slightly varying. But steblib and joblib, you should have a very fair understanding. And also there is something like stepcat and jobcat is there, which is a catalog, step level catalog and job level catalog, and those things are no more in use. They are all obsolete concept, because once SMS into place, there is no way of uncataloguing. And I talk about something on uncatalog in our exercise also, right, in this parameter. And if you try it out in your installation, the uncatalog don't work, because when SMS is active, uncatalog would have been disabled. Even though you coded uncatalog, data set continue to be cataloged. Okay, keep that in mind. So I think I'm done. Whatever I want to say on DD parameters, I have covered. Um, Thanks for watching.